And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Beecham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to this Monday edition of Stat Boy Sports Bar. It is June 3rd, 2024, and you're probably wondering, Stat Boy, it's Monday. You're not supposed to be on till tomorrow. Well, even I didn't realize what tomorrow's date was because I kept saying June 4th when I should have kept saying June 3rd. Here's the quick of it. I have to go to work tomorrow. Got to make that money with the Spark. So when they scheduled me, I immediately contacted Jeff and I told him, hey, I don't know what my job is doing. He said, don't worry about it. We'll just swap shows for the week. And you're here just like a normal week. So here we are today on Monday. There are some upcoming dates, and that'll be done at the end of the show as to what's going on. But of course, it's all been settled out. My job knows that I need Tuesdays off to come into the sports bar and give you, the fans, what you want in the world of sports and everything else. So it's just like a regular day. It's just 24 hours early. So we'll start off with what's been going on in my life. Whoops, let's get rid of that. We don't need that right now. So I'm going to take that out real quick. And what's been happening with me and what's been going on and then we'll get into the sport world. Because it's kind of like a new little format, going back to Stat Boy Rants and all that stuff. So last week, last week, as I said, I wanted to meet Tom Wopat of the Dukes of Hazzard, which didn't happen. So this past weekend at the Sevierville Convention Center out by Smoky Mountain Water Park, or Silky Water Park, they had Rise Up Con. And I briefly talked about this way back in maybe a couple months back. It was a faith-based convention, and they had an annual. They had a golf tournament there too, and some of the celebrities that were there played golf. Didn't get the info on the golf that I was working that day. So there were initially 4 or 5 different celebrities I wanted to meet. Kevin Sorbo, you best know him as Hercules. Sean Patrick Flannery, you know him from the Boondock Saints. John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard. Corbin Burnson from Major League. And Christy Swanson from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute. They're not. Their characters, except for one, is faith-based, and that's Sean Patrick Flannery. Because the Boondock Saints, of course, has a Irish Catholic background. There was one more, Dean Cain. You know him best from Lois and Clark as Superman. So as the days were getting closer, life kicked in, and I wanted to get clips left and right and interviews and pictures and send things. I seriously had to scale it down. So I did a couple deliveries that morning. I went to the convention center, and it was one big room, celebrities in the back, and a lot of faith-based businesses and vendors and podcasters all trying to share their wares. One saying, bring back prayer in public school. If you're into that, whatever. Go to the back, there's the General Lee, but John Schneider's not there. And so Kevin Sorbo had his line, but it was a long line, so I didn't get a chance to meet him. The sad story is that Dean Cain did not show up. He got delayed he was in Vegas trying to fly out, and it didn't happen. Would have liked to have met him again, because I met him at Disneyland when I worked at Disneyland. I was a cast member. He came up to me in Fantasyland. We talked. I wanted to see if he remembered me. It just didn't happen. But finally, I got 2 clips to share. This first one, I went up to Christy Swanson, and each vendor, of course, they had the talent and they had the handler, the manager, or whatever. So before you could talk to, yes, I'll get to that one in just a second too. Before you could actually interact with the talent, you had to pay the handler. Walked up, said hello. He looked at my Stat Boy shirt. I said, I'd like to ask her a question about one of her movies, about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he's like, what's the question? I tell him the question. He's like, oh, that question. Okay, no problem. $40. Because they counted it like a selfie. It was kind of like taking a selfie. Give him the money. And this is the video. Watch this. Stat Boy Mike here with one of my childhood friends. back in the 90s, of course. Okay. I wanted to ask you this.
Okay.
How many takes did it take with you and Paul Rubens during that classic
Is death scene?
Yeah. How many times did you crack up? Did it ruin the story?
Okay.
Give us the story.
I don't know the exact number.
That's fine.
Because I know we had to do it quite a few times because everyone was laughing.
Everyone?
The whole crew, everybody lost it. Like, nobody knew what he was going to do. So when we had rehearsed it, the entire set broke out laughing. I was laughing. And if you really watch the scene really closely, you can see I'm trying to hold something. See my mouth is sort of moving a little bit it was really hard to keep it straight.
Some people like to put it on loop and it's over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You are amazing. Where can we find you on social? What's your socials?
Christy Swanson XO on Instagram and Christy Swanson XO on X, Twitter, X, whatever. And yeah, so.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Stat Boy out.
Christy Swanson, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Excellent. She was one of the nicest people there. So she was a little bit worried before the video started recording because she didn't know what the question was going to be, and she would actually autograph steaks, vampire steaks.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just want to come in and say that is such a Paul Rubens story.
Yes.
Well, it's so Paul because he would. In the two times I interacted with him, once was just I literally almost ran over him into him at the Elvira anniversary screening, and that was forever ago. And he was complete like deadpan and took off, all weirded out. And then when I saw him when they screened Big Adventure, God, like right before pandemic hit, because I was flying out to Vegas the next day. So yeah, it would have been 2020. Just a unbelievably. Just very simple, but yeah, the fact that they included that scene in the end at the end of the credits shows how much footage they shot because Paul just kept cutting up, and I've heard her tell that, and I've heard a few other that they were on the set tell that story that they just couldn't stop laughing because he kept doing different shit over and over again. I just found that funny. I want to jump in real quick. Also, I just thought about this right now as I was thinking about Paul. She's like the only main cast member left besides if you count David Arquette as a main star of that because he was kind of like a flunky for lack of a better term. But Luke's gone, Donald Sutherland gone a long time ago, and now Paul last year. It's crazy. Anyway,
so now the other video. Was so Dean didn't show up. John was late. Kevin's line was too long. Christy was sweet and lovable. The other one is Sean Patrick Flannery. Now there was only one way for me to start this video, and there was only one way for me to end this video. So let's.
Now you will receive us, Sean Patrick Flannery, one of the greatest actors ever, in my opinion. Yes.
Incredibly flattered. Thank you.
I would say.
Thank you.
I do a sports show. I have a sports question. Conor versus Conor. You versus McGregor. Who wins in an MMA fight?
Since that's his livelihood and profession, if he doesn't win, then he has really, really, really failed. If I don't win in an acting competition, I have really, really, really failed.
I think you got him beat. My money's on you.
I appreciate it. I'll take it. But I would actually take that fight just out of curiosity myself.
Irish versus Irish?
Yes.
An Irishman wins. I love the movie. It's the greatest movie ever. Gotta finish it off. There's only one way to finish it off. In nomine Patri
Et Fili.
Spiritus Santos.
You don't want me to finish this shit.
Whoa! I said I'm not. God bless you, sir.
God bless, man.
Thank you so much.
That last part threw me off there. I didn't think he was going to, I was going to get through the whole thing without swearing, but hey, it worked out beautifully. And he stepped away from his booth really quickly to go see somebody else, and camera off. I started it off with the "Now You Will Receive Us," and he's like, "Yes, there's a Boondocks guy there." So Christy Swanson and Sean Patrick Flannery, thank you so much. You guys were great. Thank you for doing the clips. It was a great convention. I had a great time there, even though I was only there for about an hour to 2 hours because I did have to go to work that day. Dean Cain did post something to Facebook apologizing to the fans, and in his video on social media, I think it's on the Rise Up Con Facebook page, he said, he wished he could fly even though he hates flying. There was just no flight out. It just didn't happen, but that's okay. As far as the Duke boys, who who knows when that? I know there's a anniversary coming up. It's the 25th anniversary of Cooter's Garage. The player or the actor that played Cooter Jones on Dukes of Hazzard, he's got tons of these Dukes of Hazzard museums all over in the area and surrounding states. It's in Virginia, and it's coming up soon. And I do believe they have already announced that Catherine Bach is going to be there, and some of the other characters. I believe Enos is going to be there, one of the deputies, and so there's another possibility. Never say never. I'll meet the Duke boys at some point. I just don't know when. But hey, it happens. Things happen with conventions. People don't show up and whatever. The one that is coming up that I have plans on going for, it's the Knoxville Fanboy Convention. You can find it, Google it, and they have their own website. And there will be wrestlers there. A wrestler did show up in Sevierville. It was, and I should have got this one, but I just ran out. It was Nikita Koloff. NWA champion. Someone had the belt there, and I ran out of time, and I just couldn't get to him in time. But he wasn't there anyway, so I missed out on that as well. But hey, never say never. Conventions come, conventions go. They're all over the place, and that's basically that. So let me bring up our first slide, as we always do, and get to the sports news. All righty. Well, we're going to make that a little bit bigger. That's better. That way you can read it. The RBC Canadian Open took place in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and your winner is Robert McIntyre. And this report comes from PGA.com. Written by Kevin Price. It wasn't quite a last resort, but the call had a tone of desperation. After parting ways with a former caddy at the Charles Schwab Challenge, Robert McIntyre needed a fill-in for the RBC Canadian Open. A handful of queries went unfilled, so McIntyre dialed up his emergency option, his dad. The Scotsman didn't want to inconvenience his father, who still resides in McIntyre's hometown of Oban, Scotland, and works full-time as head greenkeeper at Glen Cruton Golf Club. But Dougie McIntyre knows his son's game inside and out. He coached him until he was 14 or 15 years old and was an accomplished player, only without the funds to pursue his full potential at the sport's highest level. Dougie McIntyre hadn't caddied since DP World Tour Q School in fall 2017, but this week marked a critical juncture in his son's first season as a PGA Tour member. The call was made, and the answer was a quick yes. That's amazing. Dougie McIntyre is the first father to caddy his son to a PGA Tour since Jack Slocum for son Heath at the 2005 Southern Farm Bureau Classic. McIntyre won the event by one stroke, scoring 16 under par. So congratulations to him. Well done. When in doubt, call dear old dad to come out and caddy for you. Scotty Scheffler is still your number one player in the FedEx Cup standings. Also, I have a story to update you. 2 weeks ago, when the events took place at the tournament where Scotty Scheffler got arrested, he did appear in court, and the charges have been dropped. There are no charges being filed. It's also being filed, I believe it's with prejudice, meaning he cannot be charged, meaning that it is completely, he's cleared of all charges. It's over. It's done with. It's it was still a tragic accident that took place, but legally he's in the clear. Xander Schauffele is still in second place at 22.89. Rory McIlroy at 19.30. Wyndham Clark at 19.06. Sahith Theegala at 16.61. Colin Morikawa at 15.71. Bjorn Hun Ong at 15.40. Ludwig Aberg at 15.10. Hideki Matsuyama at 13.49. And Shane Lowry at 13.02. The ladies played golf in Lancaster, Pennsylvania at the U.S. Women's Open. Your winner was Yuka Sasso. This report comes in from LPGA.com, and it was written by Sarah Kellum at Sarah Kellum. Carnage, that was the word of the day on Sunday at the U.S. Women's Open, presented by Ali, as virtually every name at the top of the leaderboard struggled to tame the beast that is Lancaster Country Club. But it was 2021 U.S. Women Open champion Yuka Sasso who ultimately slayed the dragon of a venue to hoist the Harton S. Empel Trophy at the conclusion of the 79th playing of the major championship, emerging victoriously from a wild, dramatic final day in Pennsylvania. At the start of the final round, Andrea Lee, Minjee Lee, and Wishni Mashai were tied at the top at 5 under. Playing in the penultimate pairing with Hinaku Shibuno, Mashai immediately bogeyed to drop back to 4 under, and Andrea Lee did the same to sit in the tie as Minjee surged to 6 under after sticking her approach shot to 10 feet on the first hole and holding her birdie putt. Mashai then fell even further with a bogey on the par 4 second hole, and after she tripled the par 3 sixth, the Thailand native took herself completely out of the conversation, making 3 bogeys and a birdie in her final 12 holes to finish in a tie for 6th. After Minjee made her first bogey on the round, on the third hole to slip back to 5 under, Andrea made a mess of the par 4, carting a double bogey. Wow, this truly is a mess. Everyone's shooting way over par. After finding the water off the tee to drop to 2 under, 2 holes later, Minjee 3-putted 6 en route to her second bogey, now at 4 under. She then bogeyed 9 to sit at 3 under, still holding a 2-shot lead. In the end, we have a winner. Wow, that was amazing. All the top names left and right. Unbelievable in that. But we have a winner, Yuka Sasso. Nelly Korda is still the number 1 player at 32.85. Hannah Green at 14.73. Lydia Ko at 11.57. Ayaka Furore at 10.19. Maya Stark, 9.69. Yuka Sasso moves into 6th place at 9.51. Brooke M. Henderson at 9.33. Se Young Kim at 7.98. Pata Tavatanakit at 7.86. And Rose Zhang at 7.65. In tennis, the French Open is still going on right now. So next week, we will have all those results. All right, before we move on to NASCAR, let's talk about some ring sports. And let's talk about boxing. And the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has been postponed. This is a story off of I want to call it a Netflix. This is off of Netflix, off of Netflix.com. So this also is their official statement. This story came out Friday night, May 31st, written by Amanda Richards. Life can throw some unexpected punches. The Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson live boxing event scheduled for July 20th, 2024 has been postponed due to Tyson's recent ulcer flare-up. That event took place during a flight. It was reported Mike Tyson was on a flight. There was a medical emergency of some kind. Initially, they thought he'd be okay. Tyson will need to pause training, and the fight against Paul will be rescheduled for later in the year. Quote, I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time. Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I have been advised by my doctor to lighten my training for a few weeks to rest and recover, Tyson told Netflix. My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul, this might have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. Wow. I guess Tyson doesn't like Jake Paul very much. I appreciate everyone's patience and can't wait to deliver an unforgettable performance later this year. Jake Paul responded by saying, quote, I fully support postponing the event so Mike Tyson has no excuses come fight night. That's standard boxer talk. Quote, my fans know I don't want to face Iron Mike at anything but his best. But let there be no mistake. When he steps into the ring with me, I will be ready to claim my W with a sensational finish. Paul versus Tyson will be one for the ages, and I promise to bring my best for this once-in-a-lifetime matchup. Previously purchased tickets for Paul versus Tyson will be honored for the new date. No action is needed to keep current tickets and current seat locations. Those unable to attend the rescheduled date are eligible for a refund at their original point of purchase. To request a refund, contact SeatGeek at DallasCowboys@SeatGeek.com with the subject line Paul versus Tyson. Further details will be provided in the coming weeks. Check back for more updates and view the full statement from Most Valuable Promotions. So it's just going to be pushed back until they're better, or until Mike Tyson is better anyway. That happens. Injuries happen. Ulcers are serious. And if you have one, you probably know what they're like. They are painful, and they can cause a whole mess of more problems. Jake Paul playing the bad guy, the bad boxer here. Oh yeah, I'm still Mike Tyson playing the good boxer here. Mike Tyson was the underdog in this fight, which I still disagree with. I mean, I don't care if he's using a walker and he can barely stand up. He's still Mike Tyson. He can still knock you out. I want to give some points to Jake Paul for taking this fight a little more seriously, but I would definitely consider putting consider putting a bet on Mike Tyson. The pair of them cause enough ulcers anyway, says Jeff. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what happens with that? So as soon as the fight becomes rescheduled, we can easily report that and find out what happens. All right, let's continue on and let's go into NASCAR. They're making a left turn. Gateway Portland, the Enjoy Illinois 300, and your winner was Austin Cindric in his number 2 Ford for Team Penske. Let's bring up the story off of NASCAR.com. Surprise and elation were the watchwords for Team Penske driver Austin Cindric, who won Sunday's Enjoy Illinois 300 at the Worldwide Technology Raceway at the expense of teammate Ryan Blaney. The race was Blaney's to win until the reigning NASCAR Cup Series champion ran out of gas on the next to last lap and handed the lead to his teammate. Cindric charged past Blaney at the start-finish line and completed the checkered flag lap as Blaney rolled agonizingly slow to a 24th place result. The victory was Cindric's first since he won the 2022 Daytona 500 as a rookie, a dry spell that lasted 85 races. Nevertheless, Cindric expressed conflicting emotions after he climbed from his number 2 Ford. Sorry, folks, he ran out of gas. Simple mathematics, friends. You gotta watch the fuel, you gotta do the math, and you gotta, when you run out of gas, like Lightning McQueen did in the first Cars movie, if you know, you know. The captain wins again, Team Penske, and first on race day. Yes, indeed. So let's go over the rest of the top 10 quickly here. Denny Hamlin in his number 11 Toyota took second place. Brad Keselowski took third. Tyler Reddick took fourth. Joey Logano took fifth. Our boy, our residential hometown racing guy, and Dory Lou's favorite, Austin Dillon for RCR, makes his first top 10 in a while for RCR, the number 3 Chevrolet. Good job, Austin Dillon. Christopher Bell takes 7th. Carson Hocevar 8th. Justin Haley 9th. And Kyle Larson finishes the top 10. Denny Hamlin is still your leader overall. Kyle Larson is 2nd. Chase Elliott 3rd. And along with the rest of the crew. In the Xfinity Series of the Pacific Office Automation 147, Shane Van Gisbergen in his Chevrolet, along with 3 other drivers who drive for Chevrolet, Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith, and AJ Allmendinger, almost had a top 5 sweep. 4 out of 5 Chevys in the top 5 there. Ed Jones in his Toyota in the 24. Cole Custer in the double-aught Ford for Stewart-Haas Racing, which sadly will close up its doors at the end of the season. So every win for Stewart-Haas Racing is much more important so they can go out on top. Josh Williams, number 11 in his Chevrolet, followed by Parker Kligerman in his Chevrolet, and Parker Retzloff in his Chevrolet, and Riley Herbst finishes out the top 10. Austin Hill is still your number 1 in the Xfinity Series. In the Craftsman Series at the Toyota 200, Corey Heim in his Toyota wins the race for Sam Hunt Racing in his number 11. Christian X and Nicholas Sanchez in their Chevrolets take the 2nd and 3rd spot. Ty Majeski and Lane Riggs in their Fords take 4th and 5th. Chase Purdy in his Chevrolet 6th. Ben Rhodes in his Ford takes 7th. Stuart Friesen in his Toyota 8th. Andre Perez de Lara in his Chevrolet takes 9th. And Luke Fenhaus in his Ford for Thor Sport Racing takes 10th. Christian X is your number 1 driver. All right, continuing on as we plow on through. And also remember, friends, I didn't say this at the beginning. If you want to stop me dead in my tracks, super chat, super chat, super chat. It's as simple as that. The UFL regular season is over. All teams have played their full 10-game series, and we have the playoffs set. The St. Louis Battlehawks will battle the San Antonio Brahmas in the XFL Conference Championship, which will be held on Sunday, June 9th at 7 o'clock Eastern on Fox and on Fox Sports. If you have Sirius XM, which I do, in the 2015 Kia Sportage, which will probably now be known as the Stat Car. I'm considering making that my license plate. If not, because I just found out today that the official license plate has been mailed, but I have the option to change it. Who knows? STATCAR on the back of my Kia. It's a possibility. So and I do have Sirius Radio, so hey, I can listen to NASCAR on that. So the Brahmas take on the Battlehawks. The Birmingham Stallions take on the Michigan Panthers on the 8th, on Saturday at 3 o'clock on ABC and ESPN Extra on Sirius XM. The Stallions easily, they squeaked out a victory as they beat the Panthers 2019 in a possible preview. The Battlehawks beat the Brahmas 13-12. The Renegades beat the Defenders 32-31, and the Showboats beat the Roughnecks 19-12. And your final standings: the Battlehawks and the Brahmas were both tied at 7-3. The Defenders were 4-6. The Renegades were 3-7. The Stallions were 9-1. The Panthers are 7-3. The Showboats were 2-8, and the Roughnecks were 1-9. We're only still a couple more months away. We got to get through the summer before we get back to NFL football. In the meantime, we have the UFL. All right, WNBA news. Your Connecticut Sun are still undefeated at 8-0. Again, these rankings are off of the WNBA website. These are not Stat Boys or Stat Girls rankings. If they were, they would be in numerical order by wins, but they are done by percentage. The New York Liberty are 7-2. Minnesota Lynx are 6-2. Aces are 4-2. The Storm are 5-3. The Atlanta Dream are 4-3. Phoenix Mercury are 4-5. Chicago Sky are 3-4. Dallas Wings are 3-4. LA Sparks are 2-6. Indiana Fevers they've won 2 games, and unfortunately, the Mystics have not yet won a game. They are 0-8. There also was some news that Caitlin Clark took a hard foul recently, so they're not treating her like a newbie rookie. She's 11 games in, so now something's got to kick. Connecticut's running away with this on this one, though. She's second, third, and fifth. There you go. All right, continuing on. The NBA playoffs are set. Your Western Conference champion Dallas Mavericks defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 4, Minnesota said, no, we are not going to be swept. They won 105-100. Went into Game 5. Dallas put up their dominance, and they won 124-103. The Boston Celtics have been idle because they swept the Pacers. So this is your NBA playoff matchup, the Mavericks against the Celtics. It's going to be a very good matchup, and let me take a look at the schedule for this. I want to make sure I get the schedule correctly as to when the playoffs start. I'm bringing up NBA. Game 1 is tonight. No, not tonight. Is it tonight? Is it tonight? Is that really happening? Nope, it is Thursday, June 6th at 8:30. Game 2 is Sunday, June 9th at 8 o'clock. Game 3 is 8:30. This is all Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time, of course, Wednesday, June 12th. And Game 4 is on June 14th. Now, let me announce this. Thank you to everybody on social media who has been voicing their opinions. I don't know the results on this, but Jeff and Renegade and I have talked about this, and because of the success of what happened with the Super Bowl this year, I've decided that we're going to do watch-alongs for the NBA playoffs. So this will also affect the scheduling coming up, and I'll talk to that in just a second. So right now, on June 14th, on June 17th, and June 20th, this is Game 4, Game 5, and Game 6. If one of those games is a series championship clinching games, I'm coming into the sports bar. The Stat TV with Roku will be tuned to ABC, and I will be doing a live watch along. Now, I'm off on all 3 days. So it could possibly be 3 watch alongs. I have not yet been cleared from the Spark for Game 7. If the series goes to a Game 7 and I have that day off, it could be another watch along. It is a possibility. But this will be done, and I'm very happy and I'm very excited for this to take place. I cannot wait. I'm just bubbling with excitement about all this. I'm very happy that this can take place. Stay tuned. All right, let's bring up the next slide. We're getting closer and closer to the end. The inaugural season of the PWHL is finished, and your team, PWHL from Minnesota, are your inaugural Walter Cup champions of 2024. They defeated Boston. They shut out Boston 3-0, and there is the official team photo. So as far as I can tell, this season is a success. The only thing that needs to come up for next season is the teams need to give themselves official team names and official team logos. Dory Lou is very happy that her Minnesota team is the inaugural champions, and I have already promised her some PWHL gear that you can find on pwhl.com. So congratulations to them. Ladies, you did it. You know, we highlight the ladies because they deserve to win just as much. And, you know, they got out there and they skated and they played and did just as much as good as the guys can do, I believe. I've said that many times. I still believe that ladies can do a lot that guys can do, and in some cases, depending on what it is, possibly better. So these ladies, good job. Congratulations. Absolutely Statboy approved.
They got more balls than me, I'll tell you what. I ain't doing that. No way, man. I'd fall flat on my face, probably cut myself open, and my dumbass.
I can't skate worth a damn either. And finally, your NHL Stanley Cup Finals are set as the Florida Panthers will take on the Edmonton Oilers. The Florida Panthers completed their series in 6 games against the New York Rangers, winning 2-1 in Game 6. And the Oilers finished out the Stars in their Game 6. Both teams won Games 4, 5, and 6. Florida, of course, had to go into overtime in Game 4. Then they won Game 5. Then they won Game 6. Edmonton 4, 5, and 6 as well. Now, as far as a watch-along for this, the only available game that I can do this would be possibly, this has not been confirmed yet, would be the Game 7. That game falls on March 24th, which is a Monday. So if I can get cleared on that day, it's a possibility. But of course, two things have to happen. One, I have to get the okay from work. And two, the series has to go 7 games. Will this series go 7 games? I would like to see it go 7 games because I've said many times, a championship series, especially for the Cup or any championship, should go the full series. In fact, because let's face it, we want as much hockey as possible. Put it in overtime. Put it in double overtime. Let them play till their legs fall off. And now, who do I pick? Here's the other thing. This is the first opportunity for a Canadian team to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup since 1993. Of course, Gretzky did it with the Oilers. He's got his banner up there, I believe. Did he? I believe he did.
Yes, many times.
Many times. There you go. But on the other hand, Florida has not yet touched Lord Stanley's Cup. And both teams kept the traditional, we will not touch the conference championship cup. They want Lord Stanley's Cup. There is a tradition, and there is tradition and maybe even a superstition. If you touch the conference championship cup that your team wins, you will not win Lord Stanley's Cup. So neither team, I mean, they took pictures with it, obviously, but they did not touch it.
Pittsburgh just proved that theory, though. Sid the Kid touched the Wales Trophy, God, whatever it was, last time they won it, and they ended up winning the Cup. So, in theory, that the superstition's been disproven, but I wish the others would have touched Campbell Cup, just make me feel a little bit better. God.
Grumble, yes. So,
that's right. I'm going to grumble until that series is over, man. I'm going to be a crotchety old fuck till this series is over.
So, do I want Florida to win the Cup? It'd be nice, but Pop loves the Lightning. And I go, Pop, it's your state. He goes, I don't care. I want the Lightning. I don't like the Panthers. With Edmonton, of course, Corey Perry is on the Oilers. He's already had the Cup. But flip side, Two-Face, it's a Canadian team. I've always been saying that Canadian hockey players skate before they crawl, before they walk. Canada is hockey. Canada is a lot of things. Canada is hockey too. Bring the Cup to Canada. As long as, apparently, when I meet people at work that are Canadian, they don't want Toronto ever touching the Cup at all. So if I meet a Canadian person at work this week and I say, are you rooting for the Oilers? I hope they will say yes, because it's the Cup. That's why.
All right. So what's your ultimate pick?
Oh.
That's right. You're on the spot, microfather.
Edmonton.
So join us next week here on the Casa D-18 Studios and the Jeff Meacham Network, where Statboy will not be here anymore. He's picking Edmonton.
Can I please have my thank you? Wow, fired and rehired in less than 5 seconds. Got it. Okay, good. And all right, so we're good with that. So Renegade says both conferences went to 6, so I'm going Florida in 6. Possibility. Indeed. Thank you, Renegade. And that will pretty much end all the new. Since I did not bring this up last week, let me let's get rid of that. We don't need hockey up anymore. So we'll go over here and we'll get rid of that. And I will quickly bring up the come on, MLB. I did not touch on this. What was it? Aaron Hernandez, the umpire, claimed that he is retiring. Of course, he's not very much like
Angel.
him.
Yes, Angel Hernandez.
Yes,
yes.
Not too many people like him in the umpiring world. So apparently, they're all collectively saying, "Don't let the good Lord hit you where he split you," and all that. I don't know. It was one bad call that cursed his life. I don't know.
One bad call? Jesus Christ, Mike! No, this guy, he is the worst umpire in sport, worst umpire, referee, official in the history of documented American sports. He is the absolute drizzling shits. He makes taking a ball Xbox look like a fun conference for all to enjoy. He is terrible. And the only reason he's had this job as long as he's had, you know what, let me go put the banner up because it's not the case. So there we go.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah. Jeff are his own right now. They're not mine.
Yeah. No, they're 100% mine. I'm just not on camera because I look like shit and feel worse. No, Angel Hernandez has notoriously been the worst umpire in the history of Major League Baseball. And in the opinion of many, the only reason he's kept the job as long as he has is because he continually sued for discriminatory reasons because of his ethnicity. And he is just a garbage umpire. And the fact that he is retiring and wasn't asked to, step away is a miracle for his own damn self. And JJ, in this case, you are right. Nobody loves the ump. That's right.
Nobody loves him.
No, but may his career rest in the same glory and praise that Corey Perry's career resides here in the sports bar, with shit flung at it on the regular. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm good.
You're good. Okay. So what's coming up? First, let's talk about what's going to be happening with the sports bar in the next couple of weeks. So currently, next week when we come back, regular time slot, June 11th, 7 o'clock, back to normal. If Game 4 is a clinch series, a clinching game in the NBA Finals on Friday, June 14th, be in the sports bar for that. If Game 5 is a clinching game on June 17th, I'll be here. If it is not, sports bar will be on the 17th. Then Game 6 is on June 20th. So that week between the 17th and the 20th, depending on how the games go, but Game 6 can be a game clincher because it'll be 3-2. The
right.
team that wins 3 will play for it. So that's what's going on right now. So the 11th, back in the sports bar normally, potentially watch along on the 14th, potential watch along on the 17th, and then a game
on the 20th. Yeah.
On the 20th. As far as the week of the 24th, it's up in the air. Don't know yet. Things have to happen at first. So
you realize then when we're back in the sports bar together next Tuesday, it'll be the anniversary of the Kings' first Stanley Cup win. June 11th.
Ooh, if I had planned that earlier, no, the NHL wouldn't like that.
Oh no, we couldn't. We couldn't air anything, obviously.
Darn it.
We can post pictures though, because we got plenty of those damn things.
Well, I mean, we can't show the video of it, but we
can show screen caps of us talking about it, and we can show the video that we shot when I got home that night. Just not the actual video JJ took in the arena, because again, copyright is a thing. So
it'd be it'd be a great retro watch along.
Oh, 100% would. And if I knew we could, because the entire game from NBC is on YouTube. I watch it all the time because the Kings don't get past the first round anymore, so I have to drown my sorrows in YouTube videos and NBC clips. We can try to work out something maybe. I mean,
indeed.
Thursday is also the anniversary of the last Kings win in 2014. So next week.
There you go. All right.
Anyway,
what else are we shilling?
All right, let me get this banner out of the way so we can see things in all their glory, if you will. All right, so since you're on today, I'll be on tomorrow. Same bat time, different bat day. So, of course, Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern 4 Pacific. Wednesday, we will have our special guest from the world of social media, Canary, and you can find her on X or Twitch at Hey It's Courtney. Again, there's the address for her, and she'll be on the Greg Cherry Show with us Wednesday afternoon, evening at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We'll also, next week on the Greg Cherry Show, will be a 4-person panel. Myself, Maddie Laws, and our and our regular guest, Ella J, will be on because we are going to be announcing the former WWE champion who will be participating in Jack of All Trades on Thursday, June 27th. And now, when I say former WWE champion, I mean a former champion in WWE, not somebody that necessarily held the WWE title, just to make that clear. I don't know who it is. Greg is keeping completely mum on this, so I have no idea. So he hasn't told me or Maddie. So the fact that he's keeping it that tight-lipped, it must be something good. Thursday, for those of you watching on the Casa D-18 Studios channel, as well as those of you that subscribe to the Simple Man brand, JJ No and company will be simply predicting NXT Battleground, and that'll be Thursday night, also 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Friday night, myself, at 7 p.m. Pacific, I'll be back out at the Topanga Canyon Mall and Topanga Social with my buddies LA Dolls. So be on the lookout for, I might be going live Friday if I can get the mall and the band's permission to live stream, just because I need content on Friday, if I'm being 100% honest. Hey, I don't subscribe to this theory. I don't like this. I don't like losing to Edmonton ever in the history of ever. And I'm telling you, if Dylan is home from his mother's at the point that the series ends and Edmonton wins, I'm going to throw him back out on the porch. He's going to sleep on the porch. It's going to be a thing. Anyway, anyway, so yeah, Friday, LA Dolls, like I said. Saturday is going to be fun for everybody because it is our latest theme night karaoke on open mic night, and it will be 80s karaoke. And don't worry, Mike, no matter how late you are that night, we will never give you up. We'll never let you down. We'll let you into this open mic night and you can sing along with us. We won't walk out on you or desert you, I promise. And then, of course, Sunday, Battleground will be emanating live from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. If you happen to be there, go ahead and call into the show because I ain't spent $150 on fucking tickets. That's crazy. And that's the least expensive ticket. But we will be providing our coverage of NXT Battleground, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sunday, June 9th. And then, the crazy schedule continues all throughout June and throughout the rest of this year. The We Are Gonna Die tour marches on, my friends. Indeed.
Noah Foster, get ready, bro. You've gone through enough. The family has been putting out tons of 80s puns. It's funny, but Noah Foster, he's the MVP all the time because
we are driving the poor boy mad is what we're doing. We're driving him insane.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the weeks in chat and then on the show every week. So God bless him. He is a saint for putting up with our crap, except for Josh, because then he'll just say something like, "Shut the fuck up, Josh." So there is that. But yeah, so looking forward to it this weekend, and just busy as ever. We love it, and we're looking forward to all the shenanigans on Saturday and of course Sunday with Battleground.
Indeed. So until next week, regular time, June 11th. Have a great week. I love you all, family. You guys are amazing, but gotta go to work tomorrow. Until next week, Statboy out.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.